Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. My name is Heward and I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. Today's show is Talking Heads and I'm an expert presenter in today's topic, which is part of the Mind and Body Connection series, and it's Money Can't Buy You Happiness. Let's begin. So I'd like to start with a quote today on this very, very important topic. And I want to talk a little bit about Howard Hughes. Now, for those that don't know who Howard Hughes is, he was an eccentric aviation tycoon. He made his fortune and his celebrity status in the movie business. He was a film producer. And he died on the 5th of April, 1976. So I felt that this is opportune to talk about him as it's an anniversary almost. Now, he amassed a fortune of something around $2 billion in 1976 when he died, which in today's money is about $9 billion in today's money. And he said, money can't buy happiness. Now, for those of you who don't know who Howard Hughes is, he was a complete eccentric. He had a massive plane crash which left him debilitated and to the point that he became a recluse. He spent a lot of time in bed and watching movies in a darkened room, and he didn't ever recover. Now, Howard Hughes had a massive fortune, but it didn't buy him his health. It didn't buy him happiness. And it didn't buy him the dreams of having a really fulfilling life. He became a recluse. He also was very into OCD, obsessive disorders of washing his hands, of hygiene and cleanliness, and he didn't die happy. And he said, money can't buy happiness. Now, when his parents passed away, he inherited billions of dollars. So he inherited a huge amount of wealth, and he lived in a financially wealthy way. But it didn't buy him his health, it didn't buy him the happiness, and it didn't buy him an experience of life that we only aspire to think that they can have when they have all that money. So money buys things. And the things that it buys us, which is important for a lot of us, is it buys us safety. It buys us the things that we require. It buys us our homes or a place to live if we're renting. It buys us security. It buys us food. And it buys us all the things that we feel that we need to survive. And it also then buys us luxury. If we have more of it, it buys us the luxurious things. It buys us luxury items in terms of the things that are important to us. It buys us a lifestyle. It buys us the holidays, the yacht. It buys us the boating trips. It buys us all the things that we want to spend our time and our money on. It buys us the recreational activities that we want to spend our money on. And it buys us the substances, alcohol, and substances to help us feel different. So it's an exchange of value. I give you this much value, this many notes, and it gives me this. And I purchase things. So money creates consumerism. And the more we are into consumerism about needing things, the more money we feel we need. So there is no doubt that money buys us a level of safetiness and security. And then it's the luxury end of what we want and what we think we need. So I want to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow is a very, very old hierarchy of needs model. It starts off with our physiological needs, our food, our shelter, our warmth. So we need money to enable us to feel that level of physiological needs, to have a roof over our head, to feel safe, to buy food, to live in a comfortable and a place of ease. And so our first level of need is to have money to be able to satisfy that physiological need. And once that physiological need is met, then we move up the hierarchy of needs and require safety. And for safety, some of us will need to invest in that safetyness. Now, there's been an interesting dichotomy for Prince Harry. When he left the Queen's family and emigrated and moved to America, and he left his duties, he lost the safetyness of his entourage of security. And there was a lot of media coverage about this aspect of he was very upset because he's always had that safetyness of his security, especially after his mother passed away. And it was a huge deal for him to lose his security to such a point that he was very upset and it became very newsworthy. Now, for him to lose his security entourage made him feel unsafe. And so this was where he was not feeling one of his lower needs, his physiological needs, his need for safety was being met. It wasn't. And so he had to consider and think about other ways that he could feel safe, and had to invest for the first time and think about the safetyness of himself and his family. And that required dollars. It required a financial investment for his entourage of security. So our safetyness is really, really important to us. And if we don't have that safeness secured, we don't feel that need is met, and then we're not surviving. We're in that survival space of not feeling that we're surviving. If we have our physiological needs met, our food, our shelter, and we feel safe, then we move up the hierarchy and need love and belonging, connection. We need relationships. We need family, love, connection, relationships, and that feeling that safetyness in a relationship. And when we have all of those things, we move up the hierarchy And then we require esteem. This is the accolade. This is the academia. This is the trophies. So we start off underneath that with love and belonging in our family, which extends into our relationships, our friendships. And then when all of that is secure, we then need to show up and shine and get the rewards, the academia and the accolade of the trophies of where we feel that we have achieved and the recognition. And the final space is when we reach the top, self-actualization. Self-actualization is when we're meeting an inner need of purpose, mission in life. This is where we feel that we're not in the space of needing something to satisfy our functionality. We've outgrown the basic requirements, the basic needs. And that self-actualization is your inner mission, your purpose, your reason, your why. Many people are stuck in the physiological needs and the safety needs. And it's very difficult to move up the hierarchy of needs until those have been met. And some people stay in the place of survival because they don't know how to move out of that need for a roof over their head. Many refugees, people who have been displaced from their country due to war and conflict, have gone down the hierarchy of needs and are looking for the physiological needs of a home, food, feeling safe, before they can even start to worry about love and belonging. That there is a certain amount of finance, of money, that is required to satisfy those lower level needs. That when you start moving up into the love and belonging, it doesn't require money. It comes from a different place. And as you can see, the triangle of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is getting smaller as we go up. And love and belonging, connection, that resides in the heart chakra. And if we don't have love and belonging, we then go back to needing our physiological needs. Love and belonging connection is not met by buying it. It's met by feeling it. And it's met by our interrelationship in terms of our family, our friends, and the intimate relationships that we embrace. And when we move up to self-actualization, this is where you'll find people like Mother Teresa. She moved past the physiological needs and she moved into her heart. And she was giving something that she felt was needed for her to achieve her self-actualization, her transcendence, her give back to the world. Now, John Templeton said, happiness comes from spiritual wealth, not material wealth. Happiness comes from giving, not getting. If we try hard to bring happiness to others, we cannot stop it from coming to us also. To get joy, we must give it, and to keep joy, we must scatter it. John Templeton. This is a very loaded quote, and it's not in the space that we think it should be, because we kind of think that if we have money, many of us, if we have money, we can buy everything we need. And it doesn't give you the joy. Have you ever given a present to somebody and it makes you feel very excited looking for the present and wrapping it up? And then you get a joy and an excitement from giving it to the person, to watch their face, their smile, their surprise. we get just as much by giving to that person as the person receiving that gift. And we get something from that giving of that gift that you're not able to buy it. It's an experience. It's a spiritual wealth of giving. Have you ever been in the situation where you've given a present, given a gift to somebody, and they've said, oh no, I can't accept it. That's just, I don't accept gifts. It makes you feel terrible. That the person might be being very humble and saying, oh no, I'm not worthy. That the person receiving, as well as the person giving, gets something. It equates to an inner feeling of happiness. So this isn't about just receiving. When you receive a gift, you actually give the person a complete, overwhelming sense of happiness of you receiving that gift. So the giver and the receiver gets an equal amount of joy and happiness. And that experience, money just does not buy. So we bring happiness to others by giving and not necessarily getting. Because we can't stop whatever we give to others, we can't stop it coming to us. It's the law. It's the law of the universe that whatever we give, we get back. So if we're giving anger, we will get anger back. If we're giving love and kindness and joy, and we sprinkle it wherever we go, that is what will come back. If we give a victim space, oh woe is me, that's what we will attract, because everything is frequency and everything is energy. We might be angry about a situation. If we give anger outwards to the event, the situation, the person, we're actually only really destroying ourselves with that anger. It doesn't hit or take the other person. We suffer by that negative frequency that we are giving out to the other person. So whatever we give out, we actually tenfold give it back to ourselves. So my invitation here is to give yourself love, joy, forgiveness, happiness, because whatever you're focused on, you are the center of your universe. And being the center of your universe will attract whatever it is that you're focused on. Do you have negative beliefs about money? When I was growing up, I remember my mum and dad always saying to me, money doesn't grow on trees. Have you heard that expression before? And so I did get this philosophy, well, I think it does. And so I found much later on that there was such a thing as a money plant. And it's from Chinese philosophy, and a money plant actually exudes wealth. It's not wealth just in terms of money. It's wealth in all aspects of your life. Wealth isn't simply about money. It's about what it can bring for you. But when you have more than enough, it then stops bringing you the necessity things that you need. What it does bring you is more worry, because you have to manage that money. You have to have a responsibility for that money. Did you ever have a negative belief that people that have money are rich and they don't care about the people that are poor? Did you have a belief about money saying that everybody that has money doesn't care about anybody else apart from the people that have money? Or that you don't deserve money? Or that you have to work hard for it? What are your negative beliefs around money? If you believe that you have to work hard for it, and that's in your everyday experience of your thinking and being, then you know what? You're going to have to work hard for it. If you believe that money is an exchange of energy, then you will have money coming to you as an exchange of energy. Now, in olden times, when there was no money, when there was no paper notes, people used to exchange and barter things, services, and items of food. So the farmers would exchange. If there was a sheep farmer and there was a crop farmer, they would exchange the sheep for the crops. And so this is how community became and community exchanged. It was a bartering system, and it worked. And then when money became a system, the notes say, I promise the bearer of this note, this money, this amount, whatever the note resembled. So if it was $100 note, that's what it represented, $100 to the giver of this note. And so instead of exchanging things, we exchanged a note, a promissory note that had a value attached to it. So what are your beliefs about money? Do you believe that it's an exchange of energy? Because if you don't believe there's an exchange of energy and you are working from an ulterior place of a transcendence place of giving, there will always be takers if there are givers, always. And so what are your beliefs? Does it mean that you sacrifice everything else in your life to earn money, to make money? Or is it that money buys you everything? What are your negative beliefs about money? Do they serve you? Because if they don't serve you, my invitation is for you to consider what you are thinking and what is translating and coming into your life. Some people make a lot of money and then they give it all away because it has no value or meaning to them, because it's easy. Some people make a lot of money and they give a lot to charity, to worthy causes, because all their needs are met. What are your beliefs about money? Celebrities prove that money doesn't buy you happiness. Oprah Winfrey is known, and it is very understood, that she suffers with post-traumatic stress disorder from childhood abuse. And Lady Gaga, the same. So they have amassed an absolute fortune of wealth. And it doesn't stop the post-traumatic stress disorder that they suffer. Amy Winehouse, as amazing as what she was, she absolutely had a voice that was incredible. She gave so much, and for her it was easy. And in her suffering, she came out with the most incredible sharing of song. There was so much feeling in what she sang because she lived it. It didn't stop her reaching out for substance abuse, for alcohol, for drugs. And these substances are a form of escape. So money didn't buy her happiness. It didn't buy her the things that she wanted. She didn't cope with the fame and the fortune because it held a huge responsibility for her. So when we consider famous celebrities having enough money to have all the things that they desire, it doesn't actually give you the happiness, the internal happiness that we all seek. George Michael, he had the looks, the fame, the fortune, the accolade, loved by many, and yet after a show, after a concert, he would escape into his own world, and he would escape into a cannabis hellhole because he wasn't experiencing happiness. He felt good when he was on stage because he was giving of himself and he gave what felt was good. And then when he was off stage, he didn't feel like that happiness, the accolade. He didn't feel good. So his escape was cannabis and alcohol. Robin Williams, who made many, many people laugh. I grew up with Robin Williams from Mork and Mindy when he was in the Fonz. And when I became older, Good Morning Vietnam, Mrs. Doubtfire, he kept me laughing all the way through. I was shocked to hear on his passing that he actually had massive bouts of depression. And he ended his life because he was not able to cope with his illnesses, mentally and physically. He suffered with Parkinson's disease, and he wasn't able to do the things that he wanted to do. So money didn't buy him the happiness that he desired to experience in his life. It gave him the fame, the fortune to buy everything the consumer wants to buy to feel good. It didn't buy him his health, and it didn't buy him his happiness. Keanu Reeves amassed an incredible fortune in the movies The Matrix. He earned so much money that he was so unfortunate in the way that he experienced life, that he was very reclusive. And in that reclusiveness, it didn't buy him the happiness. In fact, there are stories saying that he gave all the money he made away from the Matrix because it didn't give him the happiness that inside he truly desired. So why is this? All these celebrities and very famous people who we adore and worship, and we think that they've given the world, they've given of their best, but they're still not happy. Why is that? Does success bring you happiness? Well, we've been looking at different celebrities and artists where the success and the fame and the fortune hasn't actually brought them the happiness that they thought it might bring them. I wonder why that is. Because it can't buy it. It's an experience. It's from the heart chakra. You can't buy joy. You can't buy compassion. You can't buy love. You can buy things to make you feel happy. This is why retail therapy is so big when people have money. They go off on a spending spree, they buy lots of things, and then what happens is that they have a short-term fix. And the fix is it gives them a release of the feeling good, that inner feeling joy and inner happiness. But it's short-lived because it's consuming things. You can consume an extremely extraordinary meal. You can spend a lot of money buying really good food, but it's gone. Happiness is an internal experience. It's an inside job. And no amount of money can buy you that internal experience of happiness. When you're born a baby and goo and garing. There is no ego. There is no justifications. There is no requirements for things. There is only an internal experience of joy, happiness, peace. And no one can help melting when they see a baby. When you see a baby, it's a bundle of pure joy. So that's the secret, to not have any needs or expectations or requirements. The baby is pure. And this is our signal. This is what our success and happiness is. Because the baby isn't expecting. There's no expectation. The happiness is internal. It's an internal experience of being complete without needing anything. And the responsiveness of a baby when they're held, hugged, sang to, kissed, pampered, looked after, fed, is allowing them to feel those survival needs are met. They're not thinking, when's my next meal? Because their internal mechanism is that they have everything. They are an internal bundle of joy and happiness. Zig Ziglar said, "You can get everything money will buy without a lick of character, but you can't get any of the things money won't buy. Happiness, joy, peace of mind, winning relationships, etc.," he says, without character. It's your character that brings in all of these things, the joy. What imprint do you leave when you've been with someone? We all leave an imprint. Do you leave people feeling wonderful? Do you leave people feeling happy? Do you leave people with a smile? Do you leave people feeling peaceful? Do you leave people feeling loved? Do you leave people feeling your kindness? Do you leave people feeling like they're a victim? How do you leave people without needing something from someone? How do you leave that impression? What impression are you leaving behind? I like to leave an impression of humour, of insightfulness, of joy, of happiness. And that comes from an internalness of when I share a joke or humour, or when I laugh, it's infectious and it helps other people feel the same. Without exchanging a name, a card, what I do, to literally sprinkle humour, laughter, joy. I frequently share jokes if I'm on a tube journey. I might be scrolling through my phone. I get a lot of jokes and humour that friends share. And sometimes I laugh out loud and I'm in my phone and I turn around to the person next to me and say, "Hey, do you mind if I share this with you? It made me laugh and I'd like to make you laugh because it was so funny." And there isn't ever a time that people say no. And when I've shared the joke, the meme, the piece of humour, it always makes them laugh. And I always get a thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That really made my day. Thank you. And when somebody thanks you, that's a space of gratitude. And when you're in the heart and the space of gratitude, this is an elevated emotion. It makes the other person feel good and you feel good too. What's your why? What is the meaning of life for you? Why are you here? When you have a why that's bigger than you, when you have a why that is all-encompassing, it gives you more meaning for your life, for you and for the others around you. What is your why? My why was always to play my part in creating world peace. But the first job of that is to create my own internal peace, my own internal world. Because it's not about solving the external world first. We're all on a journey, and that journey decides what we do with our life. We all have the same start. We're all born as a baby, happy, a bundle of joy, full of gratitude and love, reaching out for others for that same love that we feel inside. Life happens, things happen, and there might be challenges on your way as you move through your life. But what meaning do you give to those challenges? What meaning do you give to your life? Is it always about you surviving? Is it about you thriving? Or is it about you reaching the point of self-actualization, transcendence from the very need to be needing anything or anyone, but to be living a life full of purpose? On a train journey, I shared a seat with someone that I was traveling with for a few hours, and we just got chatting. And she was telling me about the fact that she wasn't in a career, she'd never had a career, but her children were her career, and that she brought up a family of 4 children, and they're all in very, very good jobs and earning lots of money, and they're very happy. And in that they're lots of happy, they were very successful in academia and in their careers. And they brought her much stories of their own success and wealth. She sometimes felt that her life was only meaningful for her children, that she hadn't achieved anything for herself, because her purpose was her children. And that was good enough, because her purpose was to help her children become more of who she didn't enable herself to be, because she was focused on her children. And then her children's children were the next layer of children, babies that she looked after, so they could continue in their successful careers while she took care of the children. And I made a comment. What about you? What do you need right now? What will create a more meaningful experience for you in your life? Because she had lost her identity. She had lost her meaning for life, because it was the children and then the children's children. But for her, she got to a point of needing more. She was looking for the self-actualization. Well, I've done that, I've been there, now what? Because she had served her fullest purpose, and she was looking for more. And I said to her, what about taking care of you? What about loving you? She said, I don't have time for that. And my feedback back to this lady was, if you haven't time for yourself, then how can you give to your children from an empty cup? My invitation for you is to feed yourself first with all the things that you've given to your children and your children's children. This was a simple meaning of life for this lady, and powerful. And we left the conversation at the end of the train journey with her saying, I'm going to take your advice, and I'm going to make some decisions, and I'm going to do some things for me. I felt heart-warmed that I had left an impression. I didn't even give her my name until right at the end of the conversation. I said, and if you like some of these things that I've shared with you. I do a lot of things on TV. Here's my name, look me up, because there's lots there for you to find and handle some of the stress that you don't handle because everyone else is more important. What's your why? What is the meaning of life for you? Because it's not about the money. It's about your internal happiness, your internal joy, and your internal navigation towards that pursuit of happiness. We're all different and we all require different things. No one or two people require the same things to make them feel happy. There's one thing that I am sure about. That pursuit of happiness takes us on our own journey. It takes us through escape mechanisms of substance abuse. For some, it's holidays, getting away from yourself. But let me share with you, you are in everything. You are your own world. There is no escape from you. And so the invitation is to find your inner joy, which will mean you will be in your inner peace, your inner gratitude. And from that place of inner joy and inner gratitude, something profound can happen in your life. That you will meet and be with other people in their inner joy and their pursuit of inner happiness. Everything is a mirror. We are whoever we are being and thinking we are. So my invitation is to choose compassion, love, forgiveness, and to move into a state of inner peace and inner bliss. Ralph Marston said, "Happiness is a choice, not a result. Nothing will make you happy until you choose to be happy. No person will make you happy unless you decide to be happy. Your happiness will not come to you. It can only come from you." Ralph Marston. I felt this quote sums up exactly what I've been talking about. Happiness is your choice. It's an internal experience. Thank you for your interest. Please subscribe to USA Global TV and Radio. You can find all of our Talking Heads episodes under the playlist Talking Heads 2023 for this year and 2022 for last year. You will find all of my Talking Heads episodes under my name, Caroline Heward, 2022, Caroline Heward, 2023. Please do reach out to me if I may be of service to you. You can contact me on nomorestress@live.co.uk or call me if you're international, +44. If you're local, 079 07523 120 189. I offer a free consultation over Zoom, Skype, or if you're camera shy, over the phone. I have WhatsApp. If you need WhatsApp, it's a different number. But please reach out to me and allow me to be of service to you and help you through your challenges of stress. Because it's always about the meaning. We all have things that we have to overcome. But what meaning are you giving to your life? And what is causing your stress, that is causing your unhappiness? I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you. Namaste.